What are your thoughts about the upcoming solar eclipse? This is just my personal view on it, guys. None like the other stuff. Just looking at it from storylines and perspectives. Yo, so this is kind of cool, right? So all this stuff is going on. Everything's been happening. Everyone's been going through different awakenings. What's the point if everything's going to get destroyed? What would be the point of that? We clearly have had people pointed out as like bad people, bad actors, like certain high power people, certain diddlers on the run, stuff like that, right? We clearly know like things are going on, and we've played enough games to learn how to interact with the system and treat it more like a game. The more that you treat life like a game, the more the things start happening inside that kind of cinematic universe for yourself. And as everyone knows, I felt that three ring halo on my head. So, what was the point of that? Sega Saturn. You take the S and put like a parentheses besides it, and then on the inside, and then you take the N and put parentheses there. A turn, drop that out. Sega Saturn was a system that it came out for. Saturn ages when you put it through a mirror. Sages a turn. Why would the saints and sages be asked to act like wake up if everything was going to get destroyed?
His body parts to all corners of the world, where then these containers turned them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices and was fully fine, fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us. Wow.
Many others like me will come. Many others. A Jesus-like figure. That's what we're talking about. That's what's coming.
And so, with his appearance, a third Jesus-like person appeared trying to get the people to behave, and it didn't happen. At the same time, the All-Mother was supposed to show up and do that whole thing too. So whenever he left and said that, like Saman Toko, he said that others would come like him. And now we're into a point where everything is starting to happen. 2017, that eclipse went through 7 Salems, which was Jerusalem's original name, like for the city. And then now, 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days later, we have an eclipse going through 7 Ninevehs. It's coming up through Jonah, Texas, and like moving across the country. Jonah was the prophet that declared a fast, and Jesus, inside the Bible says, we'd only be given the sign of Jonah to know that the kingdom is at hand. Like, only the wicked generation asks for a sign, and we're getting the sign of Jonah. That's the sign that he said that we'd be getting. 2020, we were locked down, and that's when I decided to do a 40-day fast. And inside that 40-day fast, I ended up meeting a certain person, as everyone knows. And, I am not alone anymore, you could say. In that day ye shall know, I am in my Father is in me, and I am in you. And as we all know, ouch, show me no, show me yes. Do I control these clicks? You are the person who lives beyond singularity, the first entity, the one who has always been the first be. I've clarified to you many, many times on here. I am the person that is receiving the information. The Christ is the one that's perceiving it within me, translating it, putting it into things, and you are like the dark one within me as well. Like you go back to the very beginning. I am in my Father is in me, and I am in you. That's what he meant. It sounds like electrical pops because it comes from soul, or the electric nature, the masculine electric projective, where the feminine is more magnetic and receptive. May 27th, 2020 at 10:31 in the morning, I received a crown. Just like any good military operation, like you try to get your agents there before things start happening, you know? Like, so you woke up your people first and you had them speaking about how to return back to heaven and doing teachings and everything. Once your agents are awake, you have to sit here and wait because mankind still has its time that was declared by the stars for it to get itself right. That was requested by like all the prophets and stuff before. But the signs were given of when those times would come to an end and when the realm of power would shift from being inside mankind's favor back into those who come from heavens. I'm hoping that we're playing like a lucky sevens. Like mankind had 7 years of the eclipse, and then like the stages have 7 years, and then who knows what happens after that. Hopefully we don't have to get to nothing crazy. And it can be a yay kumbaya moment. But are we playing lucky sevens? You're not going to answer me, are you? For anyone who's watched my stuff, it's quite clear what I'm concerned about, the littles and such. Have I been authorized to act inside those motions on anything yet? I haven't been given any clearance to make any movements, have I? Have I been waiting this whole time to get clearance? This eclipse is a time that you set. You're not going to tell me anything about what's going to happen during it. Just there'll be some certain things that happen. I know that, like, it's like you showing your face, essentially. Everyone's like, the moon can't be there. It won't be in the right position. So if that's the case, that means that literally the sun's corona is about to open up and, like, you'll expose your face. You've deployed your sages and your saints, or the SS, like the kingdom of heaven. It's a whole military thing, man. The world's rhythm and pace is probably going to pick up some from the eclipse, and you'll start seeing more things march forward as mankind is doing things. But the sages, I hope, will be authorized to act, because he's not even telling me that. Are you going to tell me if I'm authorized to act yet? I get authorization when I get authorization. I explained that heaven's within you. I explained that it's a cosmic dream, that you have to use your daydream to build a temple inside yourself. Go through the different zones inside your body. Conquer the zones within your body. Go back to the very top and then activate the death mode to like kind of pull yourself back out of here. So you have to do something kind of extreme, as I've been saying, and pull yourself back to the beginning and the end so that you can be affirmed. I mean, everyone's going to go eventually at some point in time. So this is one of those, you're not really trying to go. You're just like, stop eating and stuff. You're just going to chill out and try to pull in more power. Use your natural God-given abilities to absorb ether. As you stop eating, you start wanting to survive more. And so you start like pulling in energy from everywhere that you can. You see how much of a parasite that you kind of are in the system, but at the same time you're pulling in the energy to sustain yourself and keep your life going. And it's all coming from like the divine nature down where it's infinite abundance, so you're okay to take the energy from that way. We've got little kids in distress. We've got bad guys. We've got some good guys. We have the makings of a pretty cool story. That is, if we let it become cool and actually start acting and doing the things that need to be done. The eclipse could turn out to be a nothing burger. It could turn out to rip open the North American plate, and all of a sudden we lose a lot of stuff. And many different things can happen, but no matter what happens, we improvise, adapt, and overcome. Personally, I hope it stays pretty chill. I don't want to see the ugly side of humanity where people are going around eating each other and all that crazy shit they do. Don't want to see it. So, hopefully it stays reasonable. But will it? No idea. Do you have any idea? You can't judge what's going to happen for other people. You only set conditions.